All right. So, expectations. Um, a lot of people get upset. um, Mostly with family, parents, um, when they have parents that are unloving or don't really love them unconditionally. Um, and a lot of people get upset when they expect other people to be a certain way. Um, when they expect people around them to be nice to them, or when they expect people around them to be loving towards them, or when they expect people not to cut them off in traffic or not be on their cell phones when they're driving. All these things are expectations of what you think other people should be. So, or how you think people should act, or how you think people should behave, and most importantly, how kind you think other people should be towards you. Um, and a lot of that can be fixed, where you don't have any expectations from anyone around you, by finding happiness on your own in solitude and silence. And if you could find happiness on your own, you won't have to depend on other people to love you, or you won't have to depend on other people to make you happy. So, the most important thing to do is to find happiness on your own in solitude, and develop that love within, so you don't have to depend on others to give you that love. Therefore, you won't expect other people to love you. And once you develop that love within, after you find happiness on your own in solitude, it won't really frustrate you what other people do. You'll be okay with what other people do, because you'll say to yourself, like, people are as they are, and people weren't put on this planet to make me happy. And life wasn't created to make me happy either. And not having any expectations for yourself. The best way to get there is to accept the present moment, and surrender to the present moment, where you're okay and you're at peace with the present moment. You're okay with everything around you. You don't think anything should be a certain way. You don't get frustrated at things. You don't get aggravated at things. You're at peace with everything around you. The best way to be at peace with everything around you is to realize that you're going to die one day. So, if I know, and I really know that I'm going to die one day, I'm going to start to appreciate everything around me. I'll appreciate leaves, I'll appreciate trees, I'll appreciate people, I'll appreciate every second of the day, because I realize that I'm going to die. And when you realize that you're going to die, and you really know it, you'll start to appreciate things more. Because you'll have that understanding that you're not going to live forever, which is very hard for us to because we're so used to being here. So once you know that you're going to die, and you accept that, then you start to appreciate everything around you, because you realize you're not going to be here forever. And people in your life that you have, you're going to not be here for forever. So you'll start to appreciate them. And you'll start to appreciate everything around you. And once you start to appreciate things, that's when everything clicks and you start to accept the present moment. You start to surrender to the present moment, and everything is okay. And you find peace with everything around you, situations, people, because you realize they're not going to be here for forever. You're not going to be around for forever. So you start to not expect people to be a certain way. And you're not so heavy on yourself. You don't beat up on yourself so much. You're not so hard on yourself. You don't think you should be a certain way, because you're easier with yourself. And once you accept the present moment, once you surrender the present moment, and you're at peace with everything around you, and you don't think life should be a certain way, or you should be a certain way, or people should be a certain way, you start to be more present. And you start to realize things. Things slow down. And things seem more peaceful. And that's when you become existence. That's when you become the present moment. You become the stillness. And when you become the stillness, and you slow down, and everything slows down, and you become the present moment, nothing seems heavy. Nothing bothers you. Nothing worries you. And that's the first step to finding your happiness on your own in solitude and silence, where you don't need fillers, you don't need YouTube, you don't need Netflix, you don't need people. You enjoy being around people, but you don't need them to be happy. You just look around and you're at peace and you're happy. You know, you have bliss within, you have that happiness within already. So you don't have to depend on other people for it. And you don't have to have expectations for other people to be a certain way to get that happiness. So whatever people do, it doesn't really face you anymore. It doesn't really bother you anymore. And you don't have to be a certain way either. You know, because when you're present and you become existence, you realize that you're not your conditioning since birth. You know, you're not all the things you were told that you needed to be, or all those things that you know you had to be to get love from your parents or to get your parents' attention. You realize that you don't have to do any of that. And once you lose that conditioning and you realize you don't have to be anything, you're not hard on yourself and you don't expect anything from yourself. You don't expect yourself to be a certain way. And then you can be really happy because you're not working for anybody anymore. You're not doing anything for anybody anymore. You're just okay with just being. Everything's just okay. And if challenges arise, bad things happen, just deal with those bad things, whatever they are. And if you're in the present moment, if you're more focused, the answers come easier. My niece said something about I can't always be in the present moment because I have to do homework. Well, if you're a student and you have homework, well, you just do the homework. And then once the homework's done, you could continue doing what you do. But when you're doing that homework, you can still be in the present moment. You don't have to not be in the present moment when you do homework. It's the same as playing the guitar or painting or rock climbing. You can be in the present moment while you're doing it. Or if you have to go to work, you could be at work and you could be in the present moment. You could be enjoying your job. And when you find happiness in solitude, in silence, it's much, much easier for you to be happier to other people and nicer to people and loving towards other people. Because people don't bother you anymore. You have no reason to get angry at people. You have no reason to get frustrated at people. You have no reason to yell at people. And you're happy because you found happiness within. So you spread that happiness to others. It comes naturally. And I always say it's a development of love within. When you find happiness in solitude and silence, you develop love within. And then you give that love to others. And if you do find yourself getting frustrated at somebody or angry at somebody and anger arises, usually anger arises or frustration arises when you're not surrendering or accepting the present moment. So if you're not accepting your situation, if you're not accepting the people around you, if you're not accepting this moment, and you're not surrendering to this moment, anger may arise or frustration may arise because you're not surrendering or accepting the moment or the situation, the person, the people. And if you do get frustrated or if you do get angry and you didn't surrender to the moment or surrender to or accept the situation, then apologize and be aware of it. And say okay, the last time that happened, I got frustrated or I got angry. So let me work on it. So the next time, so you figure out why. Why did I get frustrated? Why did I get angry? What was the trigger? What happened that caused me to get frustrated? And then you review it. And you're okay, all right, it's because I was hungry and I really wanted to eat and, they were, taking their time and I really need to get somewhere. So I get frustrated because I was hungry. So you realize that, okay, you're more aware of it. And so you try to solve that for the next time, okay? So life is a series of finding out what went wrong, finding the solution. Okay, so something else happens. Something went wrong. Find the solution. Okay, be aware of it, find the solution, fix it, and then you may not have that problem ever again. Being aware is incredibly important, and knowing why you acted in a certain way or what was the thing that frustrated or upset you is extremely important. That way you can fix it. Problem solved. And if you continue to make that issue or have that problem, or you keep making the same mistake, review it. so you can be more aware of it, so you can fix it in the future. Because you never have a right to get frustrated at anyone. You never have it's never right to get angry or yell at someone. You don't have the power, or you shouldn't be allowed to do that. You should never have the power, or you should never feel like you should yell at someone or get angry at someone. Just like you don't have the power to make someone happy. Like, you could be loving towards people and you could be kind towards people, but you don't have the power to make anyone happy. And that's not your job, to make people happy. And people shouldn't depend on you to be happy, to find their happiness. They should never depend on you to find their happiness. But you can be loving and you can be compassionate. But in order to be loving and compassionate, finding that love within and that happiness in solitude allows you to be more loving towards others. And being aware and understanding that you're going to die one day is a gigantic help getting you there. And if it scares you to think that you're going to die one day, really let it sink in, let it go deep. And if it scares you and fear comes up or depression comes up, go through it. And then once you go through it and you go through that fear and that depression, then appreciate, at the end of the tunnel, appreciation will come through. And you'll be like, oh man, wow, yeah, no kidding. God, I'm not going to be here for forever. Maybe I should appreciate everything while it's still in front of me. Anyways, everyone, I hope you're having a great day. I'll probably add more to that later. Anyways, have a great weekend. I'm on my porch, by the way. This place is pretty dope. Rosen Road. Alright, guys, have fun. Peace.